Hey, I'm Richard Alstrom. I'm here from Abatron. We're at Milwaukee Sausage Company in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And today we're going to show you how to make some repairs to some concrete steps using Abatron's Aboweld 55-1, Abocrete, and Color Grit. As you can see, these steps have taken quite a beating over the years. We've got large cracks we're going to have to fill, completely crumbling pieces of concrete that have just weathered away. And all of this is definitely a tripping hazard for this small business here in South Milwaukee. So we've got to make this safe again. We also want to make it look good in the process. Prepping the surface is one of the most important processes when you're applying epoxy products. So we're going to remove all the old caulk and any adhesives that were on the concrete so that our epoxy bonds very, very well to the old surface. Some of the cracks on the concrete are too narrow to really get a lot of epoxy down into them. So we're going to widen the cracks a little bit to really allow for good penetration of the material to get a good bond and a solid fill with the epoxy. We're going to use some foam backer rod to fill a little bit of the space behind the repair before using our Aboweld 55-1 over the top of it. So this here is our Aboweld 55-1 product. This is a two-part epoxy, non-slumping, non-sagging paste. We're going to mix part A and part B in equal volumes until it's all a uniform gray color. And then as I'm applying it, I'm going to use our Abosolv cleaning solvent to smooth it out and reduce any grinding or sanding we're going to have to do once that product sets up. Now we've got our freshly mixed batch of Aboweld 55-1. We're just going to use a plastic putty knife to apply the product right into the crack over the top of that foam rope. And as I go, I'll smooth it out using our Abosolv. Largest areas that we're filling with the Aboweld 55-1. We'll do it in multiple applications. We'll build it up about a ½ inch thick or so, let it set up for a half hour or 45 minutes, and then we'll come back and build upon those to reach the desired thickness that we need. So in the joint where the step riser meets the sidewalk, we want to use a semi-flexible product because there may be some movement at that joint. We're going to use BestBond Joint Sealant. It's going to be a semi-flexible epoxy that's going to have a little bit of give to it. This is a two-component epoxy that's going to mix through this static mixer as we pump it out of a caulking tube. So our first batch of Aboweld is starting to set up. It's been about a half an hour. We're coming back now with a second batch and just filling in right over the top of that Aboweld to fill some of the larger areas that needed a little bit more excessive filling. So the final patching product we're going to use on this project is called Abocrete. It's a two-part liquid epoxy that we're going to blend with sand to make an epoxy cement. We're going to use this on the larger areas down on the concrete where we got to fill holes. It's nice because we're going to control the thickness or the viscosity of the product by how much sand we mix into it. Hey, we're back for day 2 of the step repairs at the Milwaukee Sausage Company here in South Milwaukee. You can see that the epoxy repairs we made to the steps yesterday have set up and they've cured overnight, and now we're going to start on sanding and grinding the epoxy to get it ready for a coating. We're going to put some primer on this and then a coating of Abocrete, top it with a color grit. These are going to look as good as new. Alright, we finished sanding and grinding our repairs from yesterday. Then we cleaned it all up, we swept it and vacuumed it to get all the dust off. Now we're ready to prime the surface so it's ready for a finish coat. We're going to use our Primkote 8006-1. Alright, we've got the steps primed and the primer is dried now. We're moving on to the last step. We're going to coat this whole surface with our Abocrete product, and we're going to broadcast our red color grit sand right into that wet Abocrete. It's going to set into the epoxy and create a non-slip surface. The Abocrete has set up and the color grid is all set into it. One last step in the project is sweeping off the excess sand and we're all set. Our concrete step repair project is complete. For more information on any of these products and see how you can do it yourself, visit Abatron.com. These are all products that are very easy to use and you can do this yourself.